I just like to hear the clap. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. How y'all doing today on this Thursday? It is your auntie August here, just being August, and hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all had a nice week. If you're tuning in from the Power Influence Radio at powerinfluenceradio.com or Power Influence Radio TV. Oop, I said it wrong. Power Influence Radio Facebook or Power Influence Radio YouTube channel. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? And also don't forget, tap in with me on Just Being August, Instagram, Facebook, and the Ticker Ticker. Now that we've gotten all the preliminaries out of the way, if I didn't forget anything, y'all know me, I forget stuff. But that's all good. Let's get into it. We have a special guest today. I mean, he's special in a lot of ways, but he's more special to me because, like, he's family, literally. So y'all give it up for my big brother, Terry McGriff.
Hello there.
Woo, 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 woo.
Welcome, family.
Are you uncomfortable? Do you feel uncomfortable?
No, I love it. It's funny.
It's
Getting
funny.
to see you, sitting you outside of a dinner table, getting to sit
Right?
and talk in front of you.
So it's Christmas time, right? The holiday time. We just had Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. Now we're at the Christmas. Christmas stands for what?
Spending
Love.
money.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the American way. But it's more for family, friends, love, giving thanks. Being appreciative. Baby Jesus, the manger and all that good stuff. So why not have my family member on? Right? But you're more than just family. So what I normally do is I like for people to introduce themselves and tell something about, not something, but give us your bio. Not just the fact that you Auntie August's brother, you know what I'm saying? But come on, give me your bio.
Oh, wow. Where do I start?
Retirement.
Yeah, I'm, retired from, thank God, from the government. Actually, they kind of retired me, but that's okay. Still money.
Mm-hmm. But what type of retirement?
I'm a disabled military veteran. Also from the Department of Homeland Security. I actually got my buddy over here with me. We had, a few days ago, we did the event, Blue Gray All-American game. One of the reasons I'm in town, as you see on the patch. Mm-hmm. I was doing some work, hanging out with him, trying to get some other stuff done. I do a little bit of everything. I don't like use that word entrepreneur. I'm in business.
Right.
I always say, and I mean no disrespect, when you're an entrepreneur, you're not willing to tell people exactly what you do.
Okay.
I do a little bit of everything, so that might be a whole different show to go in a whole bunch of the different areas because I believe in multiple streams of income, and I ain't talking about one or two.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you are a retired military vet. You were in the Navy.
Mm-hmm. Submarines. And one thing that I remember as a kid was I was so super happy because I had a brother who was in the Navy. I remember still seeing your little white hat that I used to have, and then you had your little outfit on. That was one of the reasons why I did want to go into the military, because you were part of the Navy. But I do want to touch on skinnier.
Well, I mean, wasn't we all back then? But, But I do want to talk about, just for a moment, the experience that you did have on the ship.
Oh, wow. Submarines is a different life. I mean, first of all, it's probably, as far as the Navy goes, mm-hmm. the closest thing you could be to being Special Forces without being Special Forces, the background checks. Some people say, especially when you get your TS top secret clearance and you go through what they call personal reliability program. The background checks that they do on you it's crazy. Okay. And then the submarine school you go through and stuff like that. Shout out to Old Groton, Connecticut, and you go up there and you get all the training, and then, you pass through all that stuff. It all depends your path through. You could be a regular a non-nuclear submariner, or you can be what we call a nuclear submarine person. Will get the nuke school. Okay. So you want to, but the training and all the stuff to go to prepare to do that type of job is very strenuous, because they need the best of the best. It is what it is.
Now, you got nieces and nephews and you got children. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about having them join the military?
Well, you got to be a reason you're going in. Sometimes if you're trying to escape and do a better life for yourself, that's good. You know what I mean? But if you don't know what to do, that's probably not the way to go in, because if you're not focused and you won't allow them to get you focused, then you'll be out on the street trying to figure out what you're going to do, and it could set you back, especially if you get a mark on your record.
Right.
But I always say, if you not looking to go into college, but you want to learn a skill, you want to get some training, you want to find some mentors, the military is never a bad option. You know, we got a lot of relatives that join the military, Army and stuff like that.
From granddaddy on.
And our grandfather. So it is a good way for young men and women to, establish themselves, especially if you come from a hard upbringing, and not saying that we necessarily always had a hard upbringing, but it's a good way to get started. I mean, you can pay for your college, but you can also make a life and a career of that too.
Okay.
But I would always say, if you're going to do it, get focused with it, and let it take you where it can take you.
Right. So longevity, far as you got the military because of honorably discharged, of course, retired vet. With that, how do you think that your life has transitioned afterwards? Far as you said, you are a businessman. You're not necessarily an entrepreneur, which that's still part of it, but you are a businessman. So let's tap into that. Being a businessman, you've got a whole career prior to. Now you have a whole new career afterwards, and I know you do a lot of things. How does that play into, or how do you be able? Let's see. Let me try this again, because my auntie-isms is definitely coming out. How does that work? Being a career businessman and also being a man, because I feel like we have different. We're like onions. We have several different layers. So you're a career businessman. How does that tap into relationships, family, being a big brother? You're an excellent brother, but we know back in the day, it takes a step to get to where you're at. So elaborate a little bit on that for me.
I would say the maturity aspect of it. You got to grow up. At some point we all grow up. We want to have fun. We want to enjoy life and do things. And a lot of that is about the culture that you're in. Sometimes if you grew up in that culture where it's party all the time and you're not being responsible, if you don't have somebody to check you, you could be on that road until you 50, 60, and next time you look back on your life and have nothing and done nothing.
Wow.
And then you're wondering, what am I going to do? And, my whole thing was I didn't ever want to be dependent on anybody. We kind of had a pretty tough upbringing in certain parts of our lives. And I had made up in my mind I wasn't going to be dependent on. But when I left home at 18 years old, I was deciding I'm never coming back. Really? Not because I don't love my family. No. It was that the best thing I could give to my family is not have them have to be taking care of me as an adult. So the first thing I always say, become an adult. I always use that term. You got men, you got women, and you got adult age boys and adult age girls, because there's still some people that ain't grow up even in their 50s and 60s.
Okay, so let's get into it. What is your definition of an adult age male and an adult age female?
Oh, it's easy. Being a man you can go back to the Bible. When I was a child, I'd act as a child. I did childish things, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. That means you want to actively seek things that's going to make you somebody that's dependable, honorable, somebody that that a woman, not an adult age girl again, wants to raise a family with, because a lot of times we make bad decisions. We've all been there. We all done that. But as you grow up and you learn, if you learn from your mistakes, you learn that mistakes are not always bad if you use them and learn from them. So you want to do that, and then you look for mentorship. You look for self-improvement. You try to find that, especially this A&E. All you got to do is ask AI, self-help books. Where can I find mentorships? What do I need to do if I want to become, get in business, or if I want to anything, improve my credit? AI can tell you anything now.
But why am I going to use AI to do that? Well, and I'm saying why, because let's go back. You said you gave the definition of what an adult age boy is. And you add the aspect of Bible. You reference Bible. But you have so many people now who does not reference Bible. They don't know Bible. They don't have religion, faith, or any type of that. So how does that person know what a adult age man is versus an adult age boy. I mean, they can Google it, can they? They can ask Siri, hey Siri, am I an adult age man or am I an adult age woman? You know?
Well, yeah, that's kind of oversimplified in that. That's a personal decision you got to make. At a certain point in your life, if you want something, if you want to have something, you want to have a home, you want to have a car, you want to be able to take care of yourself without having to be depending on family members, friends, or being a burden on anybody else. You know, that's the first thing is, what is your why for being what you are and who you are? Why is the reason? Is it all about you? And that's fine if it's all about you, but are you still want to be a leech on other people? Or do you have enough self-respect that you can say, I'm going to take care of myself, and I want to be able to then not have to be a burden on my family members. If anything, I would like to be able to help them if they need it.
Okay, I'm gonna be remedial. I need you to give me some more classification on an adult age boy. I'm just saying, like, I need to know. I'm in the dating age. I need to know when I go out there in my latter years in life, how can I distinguish between an adult age boy and an adult man?
Okay. First things first. Is the person self-sufficient? Do they have their own place?
No.
Without having to necessarily, I ain't gonna even knock even you having a roommate, but you have your own place. You're not living with mama, daddy, sister.
Hold on. What if he live with his mom and daddy?
Okay, is he gonna take you back to his room at his mama and daddy house?
I mean, I would hope not.
Okay. And the thing about it is, if it turns in the long term, first of all, most women, he might be attractive enough to hang out with him, but he may not. He might be just Mr. Right now. He ain't gonna be Mr. Right.
Well, first of all, I ain't going back to your mom and daddy house. Let's just keep it a book. I'm just saying. But no. So there we go. So he can't live at home with mom and daddy. He got to have his own spot. Mm-hmm. I mean, transportation wise.
And I'm not talking about Uber.
Oh, so he can't Uber. If you
I'm not
Uber,
saying he can't Uber.
Okay.
But because you might have a car in the shop.
Right.
But you should have your own transportation. If you're in that area, you might be up in New York City. Now, that's a whole different thing. You may not need it. But what I'm talking about, have reliable transportation if you're going to take somebody on a date. You know what I mean? Or even if you're meeting somebody on a date. The thing about it is, it's about going back to the whole thing, self-sufficiency, being self-reliant. If you're looking to, I believe in this way, as a man being in a house, I'm going to be the head of my house. You know what I mean? So I'm looking to bring a woman into my house.
Okay.
Not going, I hope she got a nicer place than me. Maybe I could shack over her house and help pay her bills. No.
Okay.
No, that doesn't work, because in all actuality, that woman won't respect you. And that's the truth. She's not gonna respect you.
So, if I'm not using the word girl, if a woman lets the man come in her household, in her domain, you're saying that she won't respect him?
9 times out of 10, no, because
I can't agree to that.
Well, you might be an exception. There's always almost an exception to everything, but on the average, because it's her place.
Okay.
You gonna come in now? You gonna take over in her place? How quickly and easily you think that's gonna happen?
Well, I would think that if a man sees a woman and she's single, she has children, and when you're deciding that I like this young lady, I think she, we're at the equally yoked situation. I think I might want to be, eternal. Then yeah, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna put my stamp in. I'm gonna take care of I'm gonna now be the provider. That's how it should be. That's how, in my little head, that's how it should be, because he's the man. Now, we're not talking about same-sex marriages, same-sex relationships. We're talking about man and woman.
Yeah, heterosexual, I understand.
In that aspect, yeah, I would say, hey, auntie, you looking good. How you doing, girl? All right, we done been together for a little bit. Let me, if I have the house, been there for a minute, why not?
I understand that, and that's a great attitude, the willingness to want to come in and help like that. But at a certain time, there's going to be some difficulty. There's going to be some disagreements.
Definitely.
And that card of this is my house, will always be something that's going to affect him.
Well, I can't say I would say
Especially
that.
if he's a. Remember, we're talking about men. We're not talking about adult age boys.
Okay, okay.
Remember, we're talking about
Yes.
9 times out of 10, a man, like I said, who has his own, he's not moving into your house. You get one, hey baby, let me get another one if it's not big enough for you. If I'm gonna I'm gonna take on you and your children, you know what I mean. I'm gonna provide that because it's the self-respect that I want to have for myself, or most men that's of that stature are gonna have for themselves. You know, we're not talking about somebody who's living paycheck to paycheck either. You know,
Right.
You know, I can't. Hey, I got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Hey, we can't go on vacation because if we don't, the internet gonna get cut off.
Right.
You know.
See, well, these are conversations that we normally have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we talk like every other day, and we have these conversations. I was like, you know what? It needs to be, not I was going to say publicized, but it needs to be out in the open because I think there should be it should be heard and defined the difference between, because you got a lot of women, and we talk about this a lot. Adult age women too, and
Adult age girls.
I'm
They
sorry,
not women, they
adult
girls.
age girls. Because I tell you, I said you got a lot of chicks now who want to go and slang some things and feel like oh man, I'm gonna get him. I'm finna go put it on him, and that's gonna be my man right there. But that's all they offering. They only offering sex. So if I'm a chick and I'm only offering you what's in between my legs and nothing else, and I'm in my brain, because you know that some have approached you like that, and I've told you that girl just want to give you some and she wants your money. That's all she want. So what is that?
Oh, you know what that is. That's for the streets. That's for the streets.
That's whole status.
Yeah, you said it. I did.
I'm gonna call it what it is. It's whole status.
But you know, and once again, that is not a woman. That's an adult age girl. That makes sense. What I'm saying to you.
It does.
So a woman, regardless of her stature, first of all, a woman does one thing above all. She walks in her femininity. A real man wants femininity over your looks, over what's in your wallet, because frankly, we don't care. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care, because that's yours. That ain't mine.
Right.
The one thing, anything else pretty much I can do for myself. I can cook for myself. I can clean my own house, or pay somebody to do any of those things. But what I can't get for free, what I can't pay for is your femininity, your respect more than anything. Making your inspiration, making me be able to go above beyond. I might push myself to not do the things that I want to do, but when I have a woman pushing me because, baby, you can do that, I inspire you, I admire you, those things make a gentleman, just like a football coach, you know, a football or any sports coach. You hear guys, I will run through the wall for my coach, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because good coaches, good leaders inspire people to go beyond themselves. They want to do it for you. They benefit, but they want to do it before you because you inspire them. You ever? I'll give you a little example. The movie Rudy. I remember one line, and the coach said, "Man, you know, coach, I wish I could do." He said, "Man, I wish I can put your heart in my players' bodies." Then, to me, that heart means how he inspired and how his people gained respect because he inspired others to go push like he do. Great leaders inspire others to be better than themselves, what they would normally be.
Right. I get that in the leader aspect, but
that's one of the things in femininity. That's what we're talking about. That femininity, that power. When mama would say, "Baby, I'm so proud of you," I'm gonna make sure I do it again. I'm going to make sure I do it again. Those little kind words, especially from a man, from a woman to a man, and any of the gentlemen that you know will tell you, when a woman speaks power, speaks love, speaks respect, all he wants to do is do more for her.
Right.
Do more for her. He don't mind working 12-hour days. He don't mind, okay, everybody else eat because she wants to. But guess what? That same woman going to say, baby, you eating first because I know we need you to do all this stuff. Those are the things that what women do.
okay.
If you want to go to a visual, just go back and look what Michelle Obama did for President Barack Obama before he became a senator and all those things.
She was his helpmate.
Right. But she was also his inspiration.
Okay.
You know, I don't see him rising to those heights without her. Everybody said behind every great man, there's a great woman. He didn't say behind every great adult age boy is a good adult age girl. Don't speak that way. And that's why the women, their femininity is their most powerful that is what makes them powerful.
You keep saying.
I want to. If you go back to you talking about with Samson and Delilah. Delilah didn't say, "Come here, lay down so I can cut your hair off." No, she stroked his back. She laid him down. She got him relaxed before she can cut his hair off. You know, Eve didn't just say, "Hey, come eat this fruit, Adam," but I told you to. She used her femininity to make sure she got what she wanted.
So, in Bible, you have so many strong women with. Do I really want to say strong women? Because if you go back to Adam and Eve, was Eve really strong when she convinced him? She convinced Adam to eat the apple. And you're saying it's because of her femininity that persuaded him to eat the apple. So you're saying with Delilah and Samson, her femininity persuaded him
Absolutely.
Closer so that she can cut his hair off.
Absolutely. Because if he was all uptight because she thinks she wants to fight him, would you think he would have went to sleep in her arms?
No, he would have been, kept his guard up. So basically, femininity allows a man to keep their guard down.
Well, I mean, think about it. All men go and face the world on a daily basis. Whatever they're doing, they're basically you're battling life. When you come home, that's supposed to be your refuge. And real men, that is going to be their refuge one way or another. If it's with someone that they hope that cares about them and loves them, or is it by themselves? Either way, they're going to have that refuge, which is that peace. So those are the things that women's femininity really, I'm looking for the right word. Those are the things that all men want. We can't buy that. That's got to be offered. And that's the most valuable women on the planet. Point blank, end of story. I don't care what your physical appearance is. I don't care what kind of tricks you think you can turn. If you ain't feminine, you ain't long term.
So I'm looking up the definition of femininity. Basically, it says refers to qualities, behaviors, and roles traditionally associated with women, such as nurturing, emotional expression, and gentleness. That is a definition of femininity. So, what about women who don't know how to express their femininity? And I'm saying that because I've talked with different type of females, and when you're as a woman, we're moms, we're wives, we're sisters, we're aunts, we're a whole slew of things. And I think sometimes women begin to lack femininity when they are in a position where they take hold of so many things, so many traits, so many things as far as, the household, bills, and this and that. Even though they're a helpmate, I feel like sometimes as women, our femininity begins to lack or lacks. So with that being said, what about women who may not know that femininity is the key?
Well, I would say most of the times women or ladies that are in that role probably are having dual roles. They're the mom and the father. They're single parent households. They're single earners in the home.
Right.
And so they're carrying multiple hats. They're not allowed for whatever reason to be able to stay home financially or whatever reason. You know what I mean? They have to take care of stuff. They have to take care of the business of the family. So they can't be just the head of the, but I won't use the word head of the house. They can't be the woman of the house for the family. They're not allowed to be stay-at-home moms or whatever. And I mean, you got people that are married and have a good structure that still do both of those and still manage it. A lot of times you just have to understand how to walk in your femininity. If not, you're automatically going to be walking in masculinity.
So wait a minute, say that again.
You will be walking in masculinity. And
say the whole phrase.
But if you're not walking in femininity, you're walking in masculinity. Point blank in the story. You're not going to be both. You're going to be one or the other. You might can switch back and forth as necessary, but you're going to be walking in one or the other. So
if, I'm going to use me because, we are on Just Me in August. So let me use me. So I'm single. I got I dual house roles. I'm the head of my household. I got kids. So if a dude, trying to entertain me, catch my eye, what have you, he got to come correct. Because if you come at me to a point that is less than what I'm giving out, you're not going to get my femininity. You're going to get the masculinity. But does that mean that I'm less feminine?
Well, don't want to just check you on that just a little bit. Because...
You going to check me?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to be careful what you choose. Once again, adult age boy, adult age girl. If this guy hollering at you and you know he riding in homeboy car.
First of all, I hope he ain't riding a homeboy car.
Well, that's where you're supposed to do your due diligence.
I'm a research. I mean, you know me. Come on, I'm gonna ask you. What you know. Yeah. Well, you got to kind of watch what you see. Here's the thing with women, though. We have to be very cautious and cognizant. I said cautious and cognizant to the verbiage that we use with men. And I know you say adult age boys and adult age men, but men, whichever the one you want to use, are very, I don't want to use the word suspect, but very, when you come at them a certain way. For example, I was out and this dude, I know he was trying to holler. It was his birthday. We was out, a whole clique of us, right? We exchanged numbers. But I'm going to keep it a buck. I already wasn't interested. Why? I already knew he had health problems, and I'm not at where I'm at in my life. I already know I can't fox with you on no health problems. Mm-hmm. Then come to find out, not only do you have health problems, you don't drive. Oh no, we can't do that. So when he's trying to ask me out on a date, he says, and I quote, "Well, I don't drive." I said, "Well, there's a whole lot of car services that you could utilize," because I know he wasn't going to ask me to come pick him up. Mm-hmm. But I know what I can deal with. That doesn't mean that, it's just what it was. It wasn't happening. I'm just going to keep it 100. No.
But that wasn't walking in femininity or masculinity. That's a specific situation that you were into right now. You didn't even get a chance to really know that person.
I wasn't trying to.
Right. And that's part of doing your due diligence, because that's not going to fit within your lifestyle. Mm. And on that, 9 times out of 10, that guy wasn't looking for anything long-term anyway.
I didn't even care what he was looking for.
Right, but what I'm saying is, most, like I said, at that time, I don't know who the person was, but that wasn't even being a man. That was being, what can I get for right now? And that's what young guys do. Or people that, hey, if you want to go play, you want to go play.
Come on, we over 40. Let's keep it above. Being over 40, women and men still have that same immature aspect of wanting to play and not wanting to stay.
Once again, those are the situations where you have to state what you want. You know what I mean? A lot of times people play around, beat around the bush with what they're trying to do. But the thing about it is, you can't come at a person with a position of power when you ain't got nothing. And you just faking it. You know what I mean? And those people go to pretty much the same establishments. We know what they are. You know, the different nightclubs and the different scenes, right, looking for that. They're not looking for or a higher class of woman, because they're not in that right circle. They're not going to go in those atmospheres because they're not qualified. Does that make sense?
They're not qualified.
Right, they're not qualified. Who going to go in a country club when you trying to holler at a thought?
Hey,
I'm not saying ain't none in there. Don't get me wrong.
Might be some thoughts in the country club now.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but
the pool boy.
But then again, they riding in Bentleys in there. You know what I mean? They driving their own thing. They not trying to catch you on the Uber to take you back to the house. They can do one of the kids, the gardener or somebody like that.
The gardener might make a good income.
He might do, especially if he's working for them.
Yeah. Can't count the gardener out.
But they can send him home.
Indeed.
And there's a different leverage that they will also have over that person. Hey, you open your mouth, there's income going away.
Wow. So how do we...
I may not be here to help pay you.
Hey, but just gonna make sure my grass is cut. Just make sure my grass is cut on, every 2 weeks. Get them flower beds out of there. That's all I'm saying. Oh my goodness. So so in dating, how do I determine what is an adult age boy and what is an adult age man?
I would always start with, if y'all speaking to each other, go sit down and have a cup of coffee. You know, because, you know, you got a lot of people, well, I want you to take me out to dinner and all that. Well, guess what? If you're in a restaurant, how often are you going to, how much you really going to get a chance to have a conversation with each other?
You're not, because you're eating. And it's loud. It's the ambiance, it's noises, music, waiters, such and such.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, we ain't even going to get into all this. What was the little thing that everybody talking about they had where they can't take a person on the first date? It was there was a list about that. Well, see, if you're into that, then that's a disqualifier too, because, you know, there's a lot of hardworking people out there and nobody wants to be taken advantage of.
Indeed.
You know, so if you really getting to want to know somebody, say if you're attracted to somebody, to me, common sense, you want to get to know them before you even spend any type of money on them or any type of time on them. You know, I've seen the videos, where, you know, it was talking about if he can't do this, he broke.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute. If you asking him for it, how's he broke?
Oh.
And how you, then what I mean, because I always take one to know one.
Yeah. What
Broke
did the
people
girls
know broke
say?
people.
They do. But the girl said, what's that video? She was like, he took me to the cheesecake. That's what it was. He took me to the Cheesecake Factory. Oh, no, he didn't. I'm like, I actually like the Cheesecake Factory.
I love the Cheesecake Factory. Especially if you don't know what you want to eat that day. You got a whole big old menu of,
it is not just about cheese. Like, the Cheesecake Factory has a great menu. So, okay.
And you lost a sponsorship opportunity.
Did I really?
No, I'm saying from Cheesecake Factory, the person who, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So let's say this. So we're 10 years apart, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about dating, which a lot of people don't really touch on. Let's talk about dating in your latter years in life. Mm-hmm. As a man, who's approaching you? Girls or women?
A little bit of both. That's why I try to make sure I stay in the right environments.
Are you trying to play or are you trying to stay?
Oh, as of right now, well, you know, Sheila passed, so.
Yeah, I miss Sheila.
Yeah. I ain't trying to do nothing without it has to be the right circumstance. I stay out of the clubs, first of all. Except for when I came here and visit you that time. And you see what that got me.
We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna let that go. That was like that was my 39th birthday.
Yes.
Yes, I was still getting my groove on back then. Anyways, that day is gone.
Yes. So anyway, a lot of times I've actually posted on a couple of these sites. And it's funny when you get on them and you read the thing. Well, you can't do this. It's like they got a menu, what they want, and then what they want, they expect you to do. Well, guess what? That automatically shows the masculinity of that person. So I I don't even swipe left. I just cut the app off.
Okay, but there's men on the apps that doing the same thing.
What do we just say? Adult age what? Boys and adult age
adult?
girl. Yes, there's adult age because it's the way you. It's the way you conduct yourself. Mm-hmm. And nobody's perfect. I understand that.
Okay.
But when you're trying to, especially when you ask latter years, you're hoping to find somebody that you can spend your latter years with. If you're not, then go to the places where you go play. Do your thing. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and go about your business. The thing is, with me, I don't want anybody to be hurt because of me. I'm not trying to hurt anybody else. Mm-hmm. I ain't dang sure ain't trying to get hurt by nobody else. That's not happening. Right. So I'm pretty blunt and up front about what I want. I like to be direct and to the point.
Okay.
Like the old saying, like Captain Jack Sparrow he used to say, can you sail under these conditions or can you not? That way you don't waste my time. I don't waste your time.
So you're giving them you're giving them options.
Right. That's the whole reason why you go in a more relaxed setting when you want to meet with somebody. Let's go have a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Let's go somewhere where it may not necessarily be any money. I don't want you knowing what I got.
Okay.
Because me, I have to be very careful because then I don't know who my friends are. You know how people, once they find out what you got, whether they know if you got talent or you got a particular skill or you know particular people, they might be hanging around you just for that reason. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you don't know what their motives are. You want to get the person to like you for you, because when that's the case, you don't have to worry about ulterior motives, and both of you can be relaxed. Does that make sense?
It do. Do you think now that you are in your latter years in life, you have you've grown up more, you have a different perspective. Do you think that faith, religion plays a part of interacting with the opposite sex as far as trying to have a relationship?
I would say faith hasn't, not religion.
So let's break it down. So what? Answer that question, and then we're going to break down faith and religion.
Okay. What was the question again?
I don't know. I'm old. No, I'm playing. No. Do you think that faith plays a part in you basically having getting in a long-term relationship?
Oh, yes, definitely.
How so?
Without faith, you're not going to do it. Without faith, you're not going to make the effort to do anything. You're not going to try to find that mate, whether it's going on the apps, going to particular establishments or events to try to meet somebody, or actually faith is believing that God and the great universe will help connect you with that person.
Okay.
My thing about it is being patient. If you want to try to do God's job for him, he's gonna say, "All right, I'll let you do it then." How about being patient and waiting on? This don't mean not having any action, but knowing that in His wisdom, He will give you the right person. He will find it. You know what I mean? And that takes time. You got to be in the right circumstances, the right situations, both yourself and the person that He's putting you with. Does that make sense? A lot of times we try to rush to it and then we mess it up.
I mean, it makes sense to me. But there are a lot of, we live in a world where it's so diverse in everything from religion to beliefs. So if I'm a non-believer of Christ, how does the faith part plays into me in a relationship? If I don't believe in God, or I don't believe in baby Jesus, as people say, I don't have a belief system. I just believe in the universe itself, the world that we currently live in.
That's still the same thing. You can call it whatever you want to. It's still who created it, whether you believe it or not. It's like whether you believe in law of gravity or not. You jump off a building, you ain't flying. It doesn't matter whether you believe it. The faith just comes in believing. Give you an example. Religion has nothing to do with sports, football, but when one team believes they can beat the other team and the other team thinks that they might be able to beat the other team, the team that believes that they can will win because they're going to go through the actions to make sure that they win, while the other team is hoping that the circumstances fit what they need them to do to have that encouragement to keep playing better to win the game.
Okay, so
we used to have this old saying back in the day. Okay. Because Miami used to knew that they could beat Florida State, and Florida State used to think that they could beat Miami. Now, at times the situations changed. There was been a run where Florida State owned Miami for a while. Now Miami's got to run back, and it goes in all types of things, ebbs and flows. But the faith, going back to what they're saying, faith is a believing. You know what I mean? Whether you're believing in religion, because it takes faith to do anything. A person that may not believe in Christ that wants to start a business still project that faith to go do what they need to do to start it, whether they know what they're doing or not. Does that make sense?
No, it makes good sense. Okay. So let's tap on the faith and religion. So we know faith. Faith is a belief. Faith is not a want. It's not a need. It's a literal belief. Like, I believe that when I go to the store, it's going to have what I want. Is that faith?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you wouldn't have left the house first. Does that make sense?
No, it does.
I'll give you an example. Every grocery store, every business that you see that opens their doors is operating on purely faith. Now, there are numbers and matrix-based pursue that, but that started by, hey, we know if we open these doors, people are going to come.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? You don't know how many, but you know people are going to come. Okay. Some days are big. Well, you have a lot of people. Some days they don't. Some things you can project because of past numbers, right? But you still believing that that things are going to happen through faith. Nobody saw COVID coming.
No, we didn't.
But people still believe that things were going to turn around after that, and they prepared for what after COVID. You get what I'm saying? So, faith is not a religious thing. It's for lack of a better way, it's a belief thing. I mean, I don't want to just necessarily reference the Bible. When we talk about faith, you're talking about always using it as a child. When you get with as a kid, when we ask mom and daddy or, whoever, when we were a kid, am I going to get this toy for Christmas? They said, yeah, we're going to get you that for Christmas. They didn't go back every day asking, are you still going to give me that toy? Are you still going to get? What they do is go to school bragging, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this. It ain't sitting under the tree yet, though. But they ain't thinking about how it's going to happen. They not saying when. They just know it's coming. Yeah. And that's basically a really realistic, broken down way of saying what faith is. You ask for what you want. Without, it's like knowing without knowing, like Bruce Lee fighting without fighting.
Right.
It's knowing without really knowing and seeing that it's going to happen. And then you let it go. You're not trying to figure out what's going to happen, how to do it. You let it go and then wait for it to happen. Okay. It's kind of like a 3-part thing. You ask, you wait, then you receive it. But a lot of times people want to skip steps and not do it and do it themselves and all that stuff because they ain't got no patience or whatever. You know, it's basically, that's how it works.
So what about religion? Because, so, you know, nowadays you got so many people doing a lot of things. I've seen people with, there's been a lot of controversy. Let's go there. So with religion, crystals and sage and blessings, you know, not Bible, but the natural things. And this is recently came across because there's a person I seen him do do something put a post on Facebook about saging, cleaning the air, you know, making sure watch who you have come in your house because they bring, you know, themselves and other in your house. And, you know, we old school. Remember, grandma used to say, hey, don't you let anybody sit on your bed, you know, because you don't do that. Don't let anybody in your room because you don't know what they're bringing in with you, you know. So they were 2 parts. So they were, you know, we church people, let's use that word, church people bless the house with the oil that the pastor done, yada, yada. But you have those who don't believe in religion. They use the sage and the crystals and stuff like that, which is a belief. So the difference between religion and faith is a belief. Religion is a practice, right?
I will say this. While I'm talking, look up the definition of religion. The Bible that I know, I have not found a word or passage in there about any religion. It's always about a relationship with you and the Creator, whoever that Creator to you may be. Does that make sense? I am not advocating for or against anybody's religion. You know, we all grew up in the church.
Right.
But as with my walk has come closer to being with God and Jesus Christ, not with necessary. I go to church to worship and to be lifted up and be enlightened and lifted up by other believers.
Okay.
I don't necessarily go down to get the word. I can get the word myself. I get that every day. That's where a lot of times people get caught up because, and they're told and warned, read it for yourself. And that's not just with the Bible. That's with anything. Right. You know, you're trying to put the microwave up and you don't read the directions, and then you wonder why it's short side because, I can't put it in this extension cord right here. You know, and that's 3-prong. That's 2, you know, people get like that all the time, you know. So, but all you're getting knowledge and get wisdom.
Religion, as the definition says, is a human system of beliefs, practices, morals, and worldviews connecting people to the sacred, divine, or supernatural. That's what this AI dictionary says. Now, I ain't pull up Webster. So based on that, it's still saying religion is beliefs and practice, but yet faith is the same.
Who made religion? Did God make it? There you go.
Man made religion.
Okay.
I mean, so, you know, we grew up in the church all the way back from granddaddy and beforehand. So, you know, that's what we know. I can recall as a kid, I used to hate to get up and go to church, but that's because we're children, right? We don't want to do what we're supposed to do. We do what our parents tell us to do, right? So mama say, hey, get up and get ready for church. It's Sunday, Wednesday Bible study, choir rehearsal, whatever it is that you practice in church. But when you get at age 18, when you're at your parents' house, now it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. So here I am in latter years in life, you know, over 40. Now my walk is, I don't necessarily think that I'm religious. You know, religion to me is, I believe God is God. Christianity, I feel like I need to study about Christianity because Christianity is such a wide world. It's a wide world, yes, but it's so wide and broad. but I know that I have faith. And my faith is in what I believe, which is God. There's a God, there's a heaven, there's an earth. He's Alpha and Omega. I know I need to reference my Bible. But yes, I'm with you. Going to church is to be around like-minded people, but you don't have to go to church because the word says when one or two are gathered. So back on the religion aspect of it, why is it that people are so keen to say, I'm a Christian, but don't necessarily believe in religion?
That's choices that they made based on their own thought process. Like I said, I haven't read a word in the Bible that's beside any religion. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I make the little smirk joke is, is God's dyslexic or is he schizophrenic? We got all these different religions supposed to be with one God, but that's people's personal choice to serve and worship God the way they see fit. And who am I to judge?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I still say religion is a man-made thing. It's not a God-made thing.
Exactly.
It's something that we chose to do. He didn't ever necessarily ordain that. He clearly states what he wants you to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people still don't do it. I mean, give you specifics and, renew your mind. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all this, and what it said, and everything else should be added to you. I'm not going to quote it verbatim. Mm-hmm. But what that means is, what's the system, how to live in this world? I use the term all the time to people so heavenly minded, they know earthly good. I mean, if you believe in God so much, why are you still sick and broke? You know what I mean? Because he wants you to be in health and be prosperous, because, poor people, they're not philanthropists. You can't give out of your lack. You can only give out of your abundance. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So if you believe in God so much, why are you not doing all the other things to help you get where you need to be so you don't have to have all these other emergencies and things of that nature? You hear me say all the time, people don't plan to fail. They fail to what? Plan.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's just that simple. And it's just as easy as talking to your father and asking him for guidance and stuff. But people don't do that because they want all these external things, because they so, lack of a better phrase, religified. It's all about the religion. It ain't about their relationship.
You're right. And I say that because going to church, Mama sent me something the other day. It was a pastor, and this pastor was in some heels. And then I seen, she sent me another thing, and I was so baffled, but the pastor was literally just saying the most mess, just for a better, a better choice of words, but it was cursing and a lot of stuff in it. And I was just saying how ignorant, and ignorant is not knowing, how ignorant we are as people, that we sit down under certain covenants and we take that word that person is giving us as Bible. And it always said, even, the word says, you have to learn it for yourself. And you have all of these people sitting in these pews, literally listening and thinking that is what he's saying is true, have a whole Bible in their hand, but I'm listening to Pastor yada, 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 and I'm finna take his word. Why are we doing that? That's not how it works. And I'm not the caveat to this is, no, I am not a pastor. I'm not. This is just my own personal opinion. This is an opinion-based situation here. So we welcome all the opinions, but it's factual opinions. I said it. My word, my new word, factual opinions. I'm going to put that on the T-shirt.
Okay. So the question was, once again, was what? About the religion aspect and faith. Well, people give up their number one asset in the universe.
What's that?
Thought. They want people to think for them. Case in point, look at Adolf Hitler. Out of all the ashes and the things that happened in Germany, the Third Reich came about, and he wasn't even German. And he would take over that country, and it started World War II.
Right.
The Jim Joneses of the world.
Absolutely. The
David Koreshes of the world. People decide that they're going to have other people think for them.
Slavery.
No, not necessarily slavery, because that's an economic thing, and most people don't understand slavery as an economic. Heck, most of us in the United States now still are slaves,
Yep.
because if you live in paycheck to paycheck and you can't afford to take a day off, and you can't afford that because you don't plan, or you don't prepare, that's still slavery. Slavery always started out as an economic. If you couldn't pay for this service, we're gonna lock you up and do all these things until you pay it off. So it is what it is. But going back to your original thought, is when you ask me, thought is the reason people give up that power. You know what I mean? I tell people a lot of times, and I'm going to ask you this question because people don't understand. And going back to a little bit with religion, what the very first verse in the Bible, I mean, we talked about this. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Right.
Is that right? Most people couldn't tell you what that means. Translated earthly, all it meant, God thought about making the heavens and the earth. You think it before you do it. Before you go to the bathroom, I got to go pee or whatever. Before I call my sister or my brother, let me call whomsoever. You think it before you do. Everything starts with thought. You can't create without thought. Creation is in the mind.
So elaborate on that. You're saying creation, God thought about heaven and earth. I mean,
Thought about making
heaven and earth. Okay. He thought about it, then he created it.
Yeah. Then
So-
God said, "Let there be light."
Right. Let there be light, and then it was. We are created in his image. That's what the words say. So, and I'm just going for what you were saying. So being that we're
Who said it created? It was supposed to be made in His.
we're made in his image, not created. That's what the words say. Okay. Then I have the same ability, because it says I have the same ability as God do, right? So I can think it and it shall be done. Okay, so I'm going to think that I'm a millionaire. I'm going to wake up tomorrow a millionaire.
You think it long enough, you will be, because you'll do all the things that requires to be done. Everything is through thought. Everything that's created, past, present, and in the future, comes through thought. Somebody had to think about it.
Right.
Somebody thought about making these microphones. Somebody thought about making Facebook. Somebody thought about making YouTube. All the things that's ever been created, somebody thought about it first. Some ideas were thought about long ago, and well, we ain't had the technology to do it, or somebody said it ain't a good time, or I don't know how to do it. But those things started with a thought. Before you invited me on this show, you thought that invite me on the show.
I did. I thought about it. I did. I thought about it
probably
long,
thought
and,
long
hard.
and hard when
I
you want-
sure did. Ooh, do I want this sucker on my show here? What is he going to say?
See, those are all thoughts running through your head.
They are. I mean, it that makes good sense. And I know somebody pastor gonna be like, "Oh, this girl, I don't care. I said it. I meant it."
I'm gonna give you an interesting story, and that's one of the really things kind of brought me on that path about thinking about how powerful thought. So that was my buddy Don sitting over on the other side of the studio.
Hey, Don.
We was at the checkpoint one time, and a lady, she was running late coming through the checkpoint, and she was trying to get out. She said, "I don't know what to do. I'm really late. Think for me. Do all the." Yeah, she literally said that out of her mouth. Think for me, and it's like, really?
She said, "Think for her."
She used those words.
Wow.
Think for me.
Did you?
Well, you had to. You had to tell her what to do. You know what I mean? But you'd be surprised how many people live their lives with saying every day, think for me. You know, and it goes in various levels of that. You know, you ask somebody about learning about a computer or doing something. I don't want to do that. That's too hard for me. Well, guess what? You don't want to think about how to learn it. If we're made in the image and likeness of God, we have the ability to learn anything that we set our minds to.
Okay.
There's nothing that you can't learn unless you have some type of mental or physical disability
Okay.
that prevents you from doing it. Most of it is a choice. Love is a choice. You have to choose whether you love somebody or you don't love somebody. And I can prove that easy. You have a mother, she had a baby, she decides to get rid of it because the kid that she don't want it, she chose not to what? Love it.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
No.
That's in anything. The person you decide to have a relationship with, the same thing. You make that choice.
Okay. We're gonna wrap this up. We got about 5 minutes. One last question. Why is it more women in church on Sundays than men?
Oh, there's a lot of answers for that.
Just give me the synopsis. I knew you would appreciate that this question.
Well, that's a lot that's going around a lot on the internet from what I hear. You got to think about it. Who's paying the tithes, first of all, most of these churches?
The women.
There you go. Who's doing most of participating?
The women.
Who's doing most of socializing?
The women.
Because 9 times out of 10, the men, not adult age boys, the men are out doing what?
Sleeping. No, they're
working,
working.
doing other things for their family. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times, if you not trying to throw no shade, you look at it's the same type of economic levels of people doing that. When you see those churches that predominantly women in it, and there's hardly no men, what's going on with that? And then 9 times out of 10, there's single moms for the most part.
Right.
A lot of it is people being out of order at things. This ain't got nothing to do with who you decide to love, who decide to sleep in your bed. It's got being in order and out of order.
Gotcha.
End of story.
Love that. So I like to do this. You know, my whole slogan is one heartbeat. It takes one heartbeat to make a difference, to make a change. So out of your life, out of everything, what is your heartbeat moment? Something that just, when you think about it, just makes you smile. It does something for you.
Oh, that's easy. The first time I helped my kids.
Wow. There it is. Dang, okay. So with that, I just want to say I'm so super proud of my brother. Like, man, you teach me a lot. You know, this conversation could have gone anywhere, but tell the people where they can find you and follow you.
You can follow me on my social media as they there. I don't post a lot. I do a lot of mentoring with a lot of people from, as you see, with the Blue Gray, with sports, with recruiting, business consulting, with stuff like that. Trying to get people to get out of again mindset. A lot of times, some of our greatest achievements for people who didn't think they can do it until somebody told them and got them to believe in themselves. So that's one of the things I do. I work with people all over the country, as you see. Well, I'm different events.
He's everywhere.
And, you know, I try to stay low key because it ain't about me.
Right.
It's about the people that you help, because if you help those people, in turn, they help you.
Absolutely.
You know, as you reap, so you sow.
You ain't got nothing to say to me?
About what?
No, I just figured you might want to give me some good words.
Well, we talk all the time, so
I know.
you know.
But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my brother, my big brother, my blood flowing through our veins, for coming on my show today. Remember, you can tune in every second and fourth Thursday of the month to the Just Being August show. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah, I'm on Snapchat too. Tick, the book face, and the Instagram. Also, you can catch this show on Power Influence Radio, YouTube channel, powerinfluenceradio.com, to hear it. You can also follow on the Daily Faith Network, where you can download it on your Apple products and other products. But big shout out to my Power Influence Radio team. I appreciate, love y'all. And you know what? That is it. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in once again on the Just Being August show. I am your auntie. And remember, it takes just one heartbeat. See y'all next time.